Hi guys, and welcome back to Level Up with Lu, the podcast where we help you live your best life, pursue your dreams, and love yourself. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode. So, guys, this is the first episode I'm recording for this year. So, really and truly, you guys should be gassed. I'm so excited. Guys, I've got an amazing guest on today. And when I say, I don't really say amazing, but when I say I mean truly amazing. I brought you someone very, very special on here. I have got the one and only Akua Aubrey. She is I was going to say 1/3, but you're not 1/3. You're half. One half. It's weird to say one half, but she is one half of NoShade Podcast.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, I'm so honored to thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
That's because anybody I knows me knows I listen to their podcast. When they said that they're going to end, I was like, what?
Yeah, it was a shock to a lot of people, but it is what it is. New beginnings.
You guys really did us like that. I was like, what? My heart broke.
Because some people were like, I remember we must have posted the last episode and then some people were like, wait, you guys are ending? And we had a whole 1 month notice kind of thing.
You did,
and people still didn't know.
Yeah.
But it's the end.
Oh, how does it feel to be ending something so incredible?
So first, I think I can't believe it's been 5 years. Time goes by so quickly. But also it's a thing where when you've done something for so long, it's it's not gonna always be it's not gonna carry on forever. And I think sometimes you just have to kind of both realize that, okay, we've done this for so long. It's time to venture out and do new things or just start a new season, start a new chapter. And I was even saying on the pod, it's the same thing with you've got autumn, you've got winter, seasons come to an end. So yeah, that's just what it is. I think I still can't believe it though.
Yeah.
Because I'm still during the weekends, I'm usually I go to the studio. What am I going to do now? But no, yeah. It is what it is.
Oh. Are you completely gone from the podcast space or just?
I don't think so. I think I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do in terms of post NoShade, but I do love podcasting. I do love talking and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm down. Whoever wants to have a guest, I'm down. But I don't think I'm completely out of the podcast space. I think I'm just trying to figure out where I belong in that podcast space. But yeah, eventually, I feel I don't want to put too much pressure on myself as well to start something and then not be consistent with it, especially 9 to 5 and stuff like that. So I want to take my time, but not take too long to the point where I'm okay, can't bother to do this anymore. But yeah, just keep your eyes peeled, guys.
Okay, we're going to be waiting for that. Have you ever thought about YouTube?
I have, but then you have to edit and have to make sure the music, there's no copyright. And it's Lord. A lot. With podcasting, I could just, record and let Brent do everything.
Yeah.
Whereas with YouTube, you have to do everything yourself. Unless you're you've got an editor or something that can do stuff for you.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's long.
Do you YouTube then?
So what I've been trying to do, because I know visuals are so important. I've been trying to
everybody
record
loves visuals.
myself.
Yeah.
I don't do it all the time. Sometimes I just can't be asked to. But then I don't have time to edit. So I will not be I have someone that does that editing.
Oh, that's
for
good
me.
then.
Because I'm
good.
I can't, because I edit my own podcast already.
Okay.
So I can't, because the way my podcast is, I don't just sit and just talk for long times.
Yeah.
Stuff I have to say actually has to make sense.
Yeah.
So if I listen back, I'm like, Lu, what are you talking about?
Especially if it's a solo pod as well. Yeah.
Gosh,
it's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I feel like the worst. When you have guests on, it's fine because it's natural conversation.
Yeah.
When you're on your own, and I'm just talking.
Yeah.
I'll go back and be like, what was I even saying?
They have to cut it, start again, edit. Yeah, it's long.
And, I try not to make it too scripted where I'm sticking to points. But even when you sometimes you just go off on a tangent. It's just natural.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the YouTube thing, I'm trying to do more of it, with the podcast.
Yeah.
But girl, it's work.
But the thing is, nothing.
And it's money as well. It's just
but the thing is, you have to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
And also nothing, what do they say? Nothing worth having comes easy.
She's already speaking facts.
Okay.
It hasn't been 3 minutes.
I have to put in the work now, but later, you don't know who's going to find your YouTube channel.
This is true.
I'll be on YouTube one day and then I'll be searching. And then before you know it, I'm on some random person's page that I would never even have heard of in this space. But then it's because they're consistent or they're constantly putting out videos, that's how I found them. Whereas if you're not putting out videos, I don't know, maybe the algorithm won't put you, people won't be able to find you kind of thing.
It's
so
true.
You have to put in the work. It's not easy though, because myself, I'm trying to preach to myself as I'm speaking. It's definitely not easy.
Do you ever find yourself sometimes when you record stuff, you'll be like, oh, I said all this, but am I doing all this that I'm saying?
even like with TikTok videos, yeah, sometimes I'll record it and I'm like, wait, what is this? What is this? You need to delete and start again. And I'm such a perfectionist as well. Like, I'll be like, oh, actually, my hair is like, there's like a strand that's flicking out somewhere. I need to start again. Like, so I can only imagine with YouTube, it's just like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. But then some people love seeing that though. Like the kind of like behind the scenes, like, what do they call it? Is it bloopers? No.
Yeah, bloopers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
people like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to invest in yourself. It does cost and it is time and effort, but Rome wasn't built in a day.
Thank you.
See, I'm dropping all
but
the
that
quotes.
encouragement. Can you just, we have just started, so we actually need to relax and get into it. So for those who don't know who you are, do you want to share a bit about your story with
personal
development and then creating content as well?
Okay, so went to uni, like graduated. I studied sociology and politics.
Nice.
At the time, I just loved sociology, so I just did it at uni. But at the time, I wasn't really thinking about content creating or like kind of doing any sort of extra thing at the time. So I just thought, graduate uni, find a graduate job, 9 to 5. Yeah, and I was doing that. I started, I think, in like a sales, like shirts company. I don't want to say the name, but it was shit. Can I swear, by the way?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay, cool. It was horrible. It was shit. Like,
we love that.
I did 1 week training. Basically, we had to like sell shirts, like formal shirts, like for men's and stuff. It was horrible. But when you come out of uni, you just want to do anything to like make money kind of thing. And especially like the pressure of like, everyone comes out of uni. And even before people graduate, they've got like graduate schemes and stuff like that lined up. So I felt like there was a lot of pressure on me to make sure that I had a job lined up. So when I did that, and then I quit after 2 weeks. And then I went into the health sector after that. And I've just been there ever since. Like I've just basically just moved up, worked my way up. And and then in terms of like my creative like content kind of side of it, it was post-uni. And then me and my friend Esther, co-host, we were like, oh, like we should do something together. But we wasn't sure. And then I happened to get invited onto a podcast. And then I was like, oh, I kind of like this. Like, sitting with friends, gisting, chatting. I like this.
Yeah.
So I was like to Esther, why don't we start a podcast? And then literally that's how it started. And I think, we've just kind of been doing that ever since. So like so I kind of been juggling like my 9 to 5 and my and the podcast as well, side by side. Yeah, and I've been doing that for 5+ years.
And you guys are consistent as well.
It's not. In the beginning, we used to record here like whenever we had time. Literally, I remember like we would record 1 week, then maybe like the next 2 weeks we wouldn't record. There was no episode. And back then we used to post on SoundCloud as well. So I feel like it wasn't really as much pressure as like Spotify and that, where people can like proper check. I don't know. I feel like with SoundCloud, it was just there. Like you just go and happen to find it kind of thing. But yeah, it wasn't really consistent in the beginning. And then after a while, it was like, okay, if we want to be serious, we have to be consistent. And then even then, it was like trying to find the right schedules, like the frequency in terms of like how many times we wanted to record and post and stuff like that. We went from like once a month to twice a week to like every other, like it was just so mumbo jumbo. And then I think eventually we kind of found our rhythm, and then I was like, okay, we're going to do it every week. But yeah, what else is about me? I think, and I love Drake,
Yeah, is that where, that's where your last name comes from, right?
Yes. Well, actually,
I thought it was your real last name for a while, and then
okay, so random facts, right? So basically, I'm the only one in my siblings who doesn't have an English name.
Okay.
So I was like, growing up, everybody had this English name in school, and everybody was finding it difficult to say Akua, to the point where I got used to people saying Akua, and I was fine with it because I was young and dumb. And then I was like, I'm going to give myself an English name. And then I like Drake. And then I realized that Drake is called Aubrey.
Oh.
And then I put Akua Aubrey together.
And it goes.
And it just
beautiful.
fit. And yes, I've had it ever since.
Oh.
I don't think I'm going to change it, to be honest.
What's your favorite Drake song?
Ooh, that's a hard one. My favorite Drake song, I think Take Care. Yeah. That is a beautiful one, yeah. But he's on timeout at the moment anyway.
Happened.
Because he was going after Megan in his song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I put him on a little timeout for now. Not that he cares.
For how long?
We'll see. But I think that was unnecessary what he did. That was very unnecessary, so.
These
Yeah.
American rappers. Where is Meg nowadays anyway?
I feel like she's gone into hiding because I feel like post the court case, like it was a lot, especially in the public eye and everything. So I think maybe she's just taking a breather, getting herself together. But I don't know. I don't follow her on social, so I don't know what she's been up to. But that was a whole lot, especially when everyone's basically saying that you're lying.
Yeah.
That is a whole lot. So
it's very unfortunate what happened.
But then she got like the case, he was guilty, isn't it, in the end?
Yeah, he was found guilty.
Yeah, so
but I think people
It's
don't
still
realize
hard,
how
though.
much it takes, like how much toll it takes on you mentally.
yeah. And it took so long as well. Because this happened in what, 2020, just after COVID, I think.
2020, I don't know. 2020?
Yeah, but I feel like the case has been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been really dragged on.
Yeah, it is.
What's one thing you wish you knew about podcasting before you started?
Ooh, the time
Yeah.
and efforts.
Because it looks easy to just sit and talk. It's not.
Especially like when you want to be like, I feel like there's so many people always say, oh, there's podcasts all the same, all podcasts are the same. When you want your podcast to be different, I feel like sometimes you end up overthinking how much, like the things that you want to talk about and how you want to make it like not the same as every other podcast.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. I feel like the time, trying to find guests telling you they can't make it, guests cancelling on you, like all of that, like guests not replying to you. Like we had a guest say they were going to come and they never turned up. One basically turned up like when there was 10 minutes left of the session.
Oh my God.
Like it's a lot, yeah. And I think also it costs as well. Like studio time ain't free, so you got trying to be consistent with that as well. Like I think one thing I wish someone would have told me is that it's a lot. Like if you want it to grow, because now you have to also be consistent on social media.
Yeah.
And nowadays everybody loves visuals. So if you ain't posting visuals, no one's checking for your podcast.
This is what I'm saying. This is my biggest barrier. I kid you not. I feel like last year I was shouting about this. Like I'm gonna create more visuals, post more. Like,
yeah.
I don't like being in front of the camera. I don't.
Really?
I don't.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe because I'm so like self-conscious of myself.
Okay, fair enough.
So like if I was to go back and watch a video of myself, oh gosh, I hate stuff
but
like
because
that.
we're always in our head, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like I was saying before, like I don't like listening back to my voice because I feel like I sound like a 12-year-old. But I am a grown-ass woman, okay? But I sound so young. So I think it's just we're always in our head and trying to make sure that everything is perfect kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think you just have to kind of come out your comfort zone and just go for it. So sis, if visuals are what people are asking for, you better give them the visuals.
Give them the visuals.
Give them the visuals.
No.
Nowadays it's now visuals that are like trending on social media. Like, and that's what pulls people into your podcast and to want to find out more about it. I feel like just audio anymore.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. People are hungry for more.
They want to see what you look like. They want to see your facial expressions.
And people want to feel like they know you.
Mm.
I think with content creating, I think that's one key thing is people want to feel like they know who you are, they know your personality. They want to be all up in your business. And sometimes it's a lot. Like someone like me, I'm very private and I don't think I can have people, like especially with like YouTube. Like people will talk about their heartbreaks and doing story times here and there. And it's like, I can't see myself setting up a camera and doing a story time of like, I don't know, like the last time I got heartbroken or something. Like,
but I feel like you guys shared a lot on your pod though.
Do you think?
I think so.
It was hard.
So. But I mean, I guess
feel like
you don't really share stuff like in the present. You share like stuff you went. But still, you guys share. Like I feel like I know you quite well.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. Because I feel like at that time, I just felt like we would share stuff, but not too much. Because you don't want people to be too much.
No, it wasn't too much.
Yeah.
I think it was a good amount, but it was enough for people to like feel like they knew you, but they didn't really know you.
To be honest, there was days when I used to come to the studio and I was going through it. Like my heart was torn into pieces.
Oh
and then it's like, you know what? It's basically like you have a job to do. You have to show up. You're 9 to 5. Like you're not gonna go to 9 to 5 crying, are you? So it's just that's how I kind of like the mentality I took to it. It's like I'll have maybe family stuff going on, but I'll come into the studio and just keep it moving, literally. But yeah, it's just time and effort.
That's true, guys.
And costs.
You guys actually should appreciate the time that all podcasters come and spend to record and everything because it's not easy.
Yeah, and if you like a podcast, let them know.
Yeah,
like especially like in terms of like sharing it, DMing people, like using the hashtag, it really, really helps because if you're not doing that, how is the person creating that content? Whether it is podcast and YouTube and wherever it is, how is that person going to know that you that you like what they're doing and how they're going to continue doing it. Like,
Exactly.
I think as human beings, we thrive off people praising us, encouraging us and motivating us.
Yeah.
And like, even in your 9 to 5, like when you do something at work and your manager's like, oh, well done, Lou. Like, good job. You send that in. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of, it gives you a kick up your bum.
And
like,
it makes you want to do it more.
Exactly. Or like when there's a promotion on the around the corner, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So you need to let people that, like your favorites, the people that are creating content, let them know that you like what they're doing.
Can I just ask, why did you use that voice for the boss?
What?
Oh my God.
Because that's how they talk, isn't
That's how
it?
they talk. I'm
In
actually
the workplace.
What if your boss is an auntie? So how is she talking?
If my boss was
An auntie, like an African
an auntie.
What would be your accent?
Oh, I don't know.
Can you do a Ghanaian accent?
I can, but I don't think it's a good Ghanaian accent.
Okay.
So how are you today?
Okay, yeah.
How are you doing? But I feel like when I do it, it's got like a twang. It's not really proper. But I don't know. When I go back in Ghana, I feel like my accent does change though.
Yeah.
Does that happen to you? Like,
Yeah, so I'm bi-dialectal. You've never heard of that?
No.
Okay, it's
what does
basically
that mean?
it's basically like when you're someone who's grown up in different countries and you speak the same. So like when I speak, well, also like we speak English in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Speak English, like for example here.
Yeah.
But my the way I speak changes based on who I'm speaking to. And it's not like it's not on purpose. I'm not doing it's not, but it's not something I think about consciously.
Yeah.
It just happens.
I think that happens to me too, you know.
Probably does. A lot of us go through
Especially
that.
at
If you have
work.
African parents, you're definitely.
Especially at work. Girl, I am. But yeah, no, I think, what countries have you lived in then?
So I was born in America, moved to
Oh.
Nigeria, and then I moved to England when I was 10. And then I moved back to America when I was 16. And then I moved back here when I was, I want to say 20. Yeah. So
Okay, is it dialect?
Bi-dialectal.
Dialectal. I've learned a new word today.
Lol.
Okay, cool. No, that is sick. That is sick.
I don't know. I'm saying thank you. It's not by choice. I was dragged around with my
Do you feel like that
parents.
took a toll on you? Then,
Oh,
like, moving
definitely.
around. Yeah.
You never feel like some place is home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
if someone asks me where's home, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I just say Nigeria because that's where my parents are from, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Because I haven't moved as much as you, but like I was born in Amsterdam. So I can relate in terms of like moving around, especially when I came to the UK. Child, I was moving from Leytonstone to Chingford to like, I was moving around. So
Wow.
I get that whole like not feeling like you don't know where your home is. Like when people ask me, oh, where are you from? And I say, oh, I'm Ghanaian. People are shocked that I say I'm Ghanaian instead of saying like, I say I'm not from the UK and people are shocked about that because I've lived here like majority of my life, but I don't identify as a British person.
Ooh, okay.
Pretty Patel don't come for me. Is she still even the Home Secretary? I don't think so. But yeah, I just don't identify as being British. Like I feel like
they're listening.
Child, like I said, don't come for me. Don't. If I know that at my door telling me to leave. But no, I don't identify as a British person. I feel like I'm a Ghanaian, like all round. But when I say that, people think it's so controversial. Like,
But how do Ghanaians see you? Do they see you as one of them?
that's a good question.
They probably other you, don't they?
They probably don't.
Nigerians don't see me as Nigerian.
Yeah. I think they see me as Ghanaian.
Stuck
Like,
in the
obviously I'm
middle.
Ghanaian, but like not like them. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that actually.
Do you know what's actually quite crazy? So I have one colleague who, I can't remember, maybe her dad does something important or works in oil or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, she grew up in Malaysia. So she's a
Okay.
white lady.
Okay.
Grew up in Malaysia. I think she moved here when she was 8.
Okay.
And she's been here ever since. And obviously she has the passport, everything.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
can speak some of the language and whatever. But can you imagine her saying to somebody, oh yeah, I'm from Malaysia? Like, how would they take that? Like,
yeah.
I think it's stuff like that. Because
yeah.
like people tend to like when we say where are you from, they tend to talk about like where did you spend your childhood or you know where are your roots from. It's just it's so long.
Yeah, I feel like I'm more like I identify with where my parents are from, kind of
Yeah.
more than where I grew up. Like, because I technically grew up in Holland, but I don't say oh I'm Dutch. I just say I'm Ghanaian, and I think also because I'm black, I find it weird to say that I'm Dutch.
How old are you when you left?
like, I was like maybe 7.
Can you sing the language?
Yeah.
Girl, I think you a little bit.
No, I'm not. But I don't know.
So you want to claim England, you want to claim Holland.
Yeah.
Now you want to claim Ghana alone.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let these people come for you.
I know. I'm Ghanaian to my core. I love being Ghanaian. I think that's the best thing ever.
Yeah. So obviously it's still like a new year. We're in Feb, guys, but it's still a new year, right?
Yeah.
I still said Happy New Year to Brian.
My new year started on the 1st of February.
Why is that?
Because January was rough. January was rough.
Like, let's restart. Do you know, I still haven't made my plans for. To be fair, I don't make New Year's resolutions anyway.
Okay.
But I still write certain things down.
Yeah.
And certain ways I would see my life going, and I kind of evaluate.
Yeah.
Still haven't done that yet.
But you know what? I think that's a better way of looking at it, because I feel like sometimes when you proper write like proper goals or New Year's resolution, I feel like it puts more pressure on you to actually like achieve it. And then when you don't, you're like sad about it. So I think sometimes just where you see yourself and how you want to live your life, I think it's more of a like a less pressurized way of like kind of dealing with the year and stuff. Yeah, but January was rough, man. I started my new year on the 1st. Yeah. But we move.
New year, new month, new me.
Period.
Or better me, I should say.
Period.
So what is your theme for this year?
Oh, my theme for this year is, I would say, elevation. Yeah, I would say elevate. I got this from my church, guys. Elevation in terms of like who I am as an individual. I think that it's very easy just to coast. But I think this year is more like just elevating, like taking things to the next level, taking things to the next step. Like, it's okay, you've done level 1. Okay, there's level 2. Like, do you know what I mean? In terms of life, like there's always more that you can go for, and there's always different ways you can better yourself. And I think this year is really like just me elevating myself in terms of like my mental health, like my career goals, like goals in terms of like my creative side as well. So I think for me this year is really just elevating and just taking that leap of faith and just stepping out, like just taking a leap, like, you know, just really stepping into whatever it is that I'm destined to do or to become. Yeah, and I just really hope that like comes to pass, because I think this year I feel like I'm more mature, and like I feel like I'm just ready, like mentally, like I feel like I'm just ready for this next chapter. So I think like for me this year is really just elevating in different, like whatever way that looks. I want people to see me next year and be like, damn, sis, is this you?
You know what's crazy?
Is this Akua Aubrey?
Oh my gosh, you know what's crazy? That's exactly what I said to her. I said nobody should ask me how I'm doing. You should see it. You don't have to ask. Lou is
talk
doing
too much
good
as well. Yeah.
So my theme is flourish. But that's
I love that.
There's this pastor in Nigeria that I watch his sermons. His name's Pastor Kingsley.
Okay.
But I just think he's amazing. He's like one of my favorite people in the whole world.
Yeah.
But yeah, the theme for the church, obviously this year, and the message from God was flourish. And I felt like that spoke to me and resonated with me so much. And it's really talking about how like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but talking about the palm tree and how the palm tree can flourish in any landscape, whether it be too hot or like if there's not even enough water, like the palm tree is good regardless. And it's weird, right? If you look at my podcast artwork, there's a palm tree, and I've always really resonated with, I've always really liked palm trees.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. And I'm like, God, are you speaking to me?
He is.
I'm just like, I'm gonna be like a palm tree this year, you know, like
and flourish.
And you know what's crazy as well? And every aspect of the palm tree is useful, right? So I tapped into that. I was like, this year, every part of me will be useful.
Amen.
Like I will flourish.
Preach.
Despite no matter what, I will be doing well. And I will be so useful, especially for God's kingdom as well. Because there's no good you being useful for the world. But if you don't do anything for God, then
and that's so true, you know, because I feel like sometimes we forget that like any day we're here to serve God kind of thing. And I think sometimes like we forget, and we're just so used to like, we're just so caught up in our work life, in our romantic life, in our friendship life, and we forget like the core of it all. And I think if you're not serving God, like for example, I don't know, like just being in church and like just serving him, being a singer or an usher, like something.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that, then it's just like, do you know what I mean? I think for me, that's something that I'm trying to do more this year as well, because I feel like my relationship with God hasn't been the best. Like I'm a Christian and everything, but in terms of like just having that one-on-one relationship with God, like it hasn't been the best. And it's something that this year, like I'm really trying to be better at, especially like when lockdown happened. I basically stopped going to church. Like I was doing online church.
Everybody.
Yeah, I was doing online church and I'm still doing online church
You're
now.
You're still online. Girl, you better get your ass back.
Honestly, and Pastor will be looking to all of you people that are still doing online, you better make your way to church. And I'll just be like, oh.
What's the biggest barrier for you getting to church?
I think it is so bad, but I'm going to be very honest, is waking up early.
Okay.
It's mad,
What time is service?
Service at 9.
Okay, yeah, that is hard.
No, it's not.
Excuse me? On my off day.
That's the thing. But the thing is, we wake up from 9 o'clock for our jobs.
This is true.
If I wanted to go gym, I'll be waking up in time if I had a class at 9. Do you know what I mean? But for God, you want to sleep. Like, that's not good enough. And this is me chatting to myself, by the way.
It is not good enough.
But it's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? I think especially if I go out the night before, forget about it.
You ain't going nowhere.
Forget about it. Yeah.
Is there only one service then?
There's 2.
What's time's the other one?
The other one's at 11.
You can't attend the 11 service.
But the 11 one is in Kent.
Okay. Moving on swiftly.
Yeah, but it's not good. I need to be better. I need to do better. But yeah, I'm going to try and do better this year and go to church.
Even if you just commit to 2 services a month. I don't know, do you work weekends?
No.
Okay, you're lucky because I work some Sundays. So
that's fair enough, yeah.
Out of the question.
Yeah.
Just commit to at least 2.
2, innit? Yeah.
Just to be there, because being in church is different to watching it from home.
It's a whole different vibe. But I think I'm just so used to doing it from home.
Yeah.
And they're not taking it away from us either. Like if they took it away, then maybe that might push me. But then they shouldn't take that for me to go to church. Do you know what I mean? So
I feel like, you should want to be in the presence of God. And I feel like, just start.
Yeah. I'm gonna try, yeah. I'm not even gonna try, I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it for God.
Yes.
Do it for God?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
You gonna do it? Okay, so guys, before we start going off on a tangent, this podcast is actually supposed to be about boundaries.
Okay.
Boundaries in terms of like personal boundaries.
Ooh, okay.
And digital self-care. Because obviously like both me and Akua, like we create content. We have quite active social lives. But it can be quite hard to switch off from all that and take time for yourself.
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to ask you is, why do you feel like women can often find it hard to communicate their boundaries, especially like to the people they love? So like whether it be like family members, friends, or even like partners in relationships.
I think sometimes it's just when you've like, especially like with family and stuff like that, or even friends, like when you're very close to people, like you have a proper like personal relationship with people, I think it's sometimes hard to set boundaries because you don't want to upset someone, but then it's at your own expense kind of thing. Like I know for me anyway, a lot of times like I might be upset about something, but it's like I don't want to set a boundary and then also then upsetting the other person. Like I'm always thinking about how that other person's going to feel if I set this boundary. But I think this year I'm trying to do that more. Like, so for example, I at work, there, you know how people try to, like for me, I try to not mix my work life with my like personal outside of 9 to 5, right? So one of my colleagues was like, oh yeah, like let's follow each other on Instagram, And I was like, oh. I really should set a boundary here and be like, no, I don't really feel comfortable. But I couldn't let that it was so hard for it to roll off my tongue. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, let's follow each other.
That's fine.
And then in a work call, I must have posted a picture. And then in a work call, we were all talking about like our Christmas plans, what we're going to do for Christmas, blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go here and here. And she's like, oh my gosh, if you're going there, you need to wear that yellow dress again that you posted on Instagram. And then I was just like, okay, where is this going? And then everybody on the call was like, this is like a whole team meeting, you know?
Oh gosh.
And everybody's like, oh, what yellow dress? And I just thought, okay, where is this going? Where is this going? Where is this going? And then she was like, oh, wait, guys, let me go and show you.
She showed the group.
She went on her phone, went on her Instagram.
I'm embarrassed.
Went on my Instagram, sorry, on a Teams call, and then put my picture in the camera view and said, everybody, look, this is a queen who's dressed. And I was like, oh my God.
I'm stressed out for you.
On a team call. And this just not even work appropriate. I have a whole thigh slit. My whole thigh is in that picture. And when I tell you, I wanted to crawl. I was like, oh my God. Boundaries. You don't do that. But then I was like, you know what? This is my own fault, because if I had said no in the beginning, this wouldn't have happened. So then after that, I just unfollowed her.
Did you tell her?
I didn't tell her.
You should have.
Do you see?
Because you'll do it against somebody else.
Exactly. But it's just so hard with boundaries, because like you're always thinking, I don't want to upset the other person, but at the same time, like I'm upset.
Exactly. You have to put yourself first.
Yeah. But it's just so hard. So I don't know. I think with just women in general, I just think some people can really like this whole boundaries thing. Some women can do it very good. But I think men are good at setting boundaries.
Men are great.
I think men are good at setting boundaries, but I think with women, I don't know. We try to set our boundaries, but I think sometimes also people don't respect it as well. Like even like when you go out or something, or you're out with your friends having a good time and a guy's trying to move to you and you're not having it, it's just like they expect you, they're shocked at the fact that you're not having it kind of thing. So I think it's hard, especially just as women, like you're trying to set your boundaries, it's either not respected or you just don't want to upset the other person. Like, yeah, but I think I'm just growing to set my boundaries and just understand that it's about me. Like you need to put yourself first and don't feel bad. Like you're going to be the bad guy, okay, but how do you feel afterwards? Like, do you feel better that you set these boundaries? You will eventually. Exactly. But in that moment, it's normal to feel bad because it's something that you're not used to doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to my therapist for that.
Yeah, that's why therapy is so important. Because even the boundaries thing, like... So, I haven't always been the best with... But I have boundaries with people that I don't know, or like co-workers.
Is it easier with people that you don't know?
But like my people that are really close to me, so like my parents, my siblings, like past boyfriends.
Yeah.
It's been so hard. Especially even my mum, like my mum listens to this, she's gonna actually
African mums.
Like I don't think my mum even understands what a boundary is.
No, they don't get it.
Like she's like, I gave birth to you, so I need to know everything. It's like, no, you don't. I'm sorry, mum, it's not your business. And it's weird, right? Because like they'll try and pin it as like, oh, you're being rude, or you don't want them to be involved. And they'll be upset by it. They'll be like, oh, why are you not, coming to me anymore? And it's like, because mum, everything I tell you about, like, it doesn't just stay with us. It goes to other people as well.
It's difficult. I think it's with mums. I don't know. I think they always see us as like that young, like person that we were, and they don't see us as who we are now. So when we're trying to set boundaries, they're looking at us like, look at this small girl. Who do you think you are trying to set boundaries?
I changed your nappy.
Yeah, like I fed you, I clothed you. This is this, and you want to excuse me?
Set boundaries.
But it's like I'm growing, and I'm actually an adult, just like you. Yeah. Like yes, I'm your child, but I'm also an adult, and you have to respect that. Like with my mom, it's still a learning progress. Like we're still, one day I set boundaries, it's okay. Next minute she's upset that I set my boundaries, and I'm just like, you can't win. Like you just have to do what's best for you. Yeah. So yeah, initially, you're not going to feel great about it. But after a while, when you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you feel good because you know what? I'm respecting myself. Because if you're not setting boundaries, you're not really respecting yourself either. Like you're letting other people kind of treat you the way that they want to treat you and not how you want to be treated. So I think you do yourself a disservice as well. Whereas if you set boundaries, it's a way of also respecting who you are and respecting the things that you like and you don't like.
Exactly.
But with African parents, honestly, it's one day is good, one day is bad. Like you just have to take them as they are sometimes, But again, it depends on what it is, obviously. Like if they're proper taking the piss, and obviously like you've got to do something about it. But I think there's some days where I just can't be bothered sometimes. And I'm just like,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, but then again, you don't also want to create like resentment or anything. But it's with boundaries, it's difficult, but it's not a nice thing to do, but you have to do it.
I feel like it's not even about being nice anymore at this point because it's like you're being nice to everybody else, but you're doing yourself a disservice.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, say, for example, if someone always says something to you that you don't like,
and
you've communicated to them that you don't like it when they say this to you or it hurts you. If you allow them to carry on saying it without speaking up about it, you're only hurting yourself.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So,
and more time as well, someone doesn't know what they're doing is actually affecting you until you say something. So you're there all like, oh, this person's a bad friend, this person's this, but you've not once spoken up and said what they're doing that you don't like.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's important to also like speak up and tell people what you don't like that they're doing.
Yeah.
So then they know not to do it moving forward. And if they're still doing it, then you know that, okay, I need to distance myself because I said how I feel and you're still like doing it.
Yeah.
So it is very important to speak up and ciao, it's a lot.
I'm going to read something about boundaries.
Yeah.
It says boundaries are communicating your needs for healthy interaction with other people. So a boundary is not a war, it's a fence. And it's where you set your limits for not only other people, also yourself. And that's quite interesting because obviously we talk about boundaries, but we don't cover the fact that boundaries, you can also have boundaries for yourself. So there's a book by Lovey Ajayi. She's an American podcaster where she wrote, we normalize constant betrayal for our needs and ourselves and others around us when we do not take our boundaries seriously. So has there ever been a time where you didn't take your own boundaries seriously for yourself? And how did that affect you?
When was there a time? Trying to think. I think I don't know. Because I think with me, I don't, like, for example, in relationships sometimes, like I let things slide and I know that I shouldn't let this slide. And I know that this is like the boundaries that I've set for myself, I'm not adhering to them in a way.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like, oh, it's fine. Like, even though no, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine. And then later on, I'm like, no, it isn't. Like, I'm still upset about it.
Yeah.
But I think, it just comes to the point where sometimes I just don't respect my own boundaries kind of thing. And I don't really set them. And then I'm just like, I'm upset as to why other people are doing what they're doing to me because I haven't set them. But it's difficult with boundaries. I don't know.
It's difficult. Even something as simple as, for example, let's say you know you're going to work the next day and you stay up really late and you're scrolling through Instagram looking at stuff that's irrelevant. You know your future self is going to regret this. There's been times I know I'm waking up at 6:10 because that's when I wake up, 6:10. If I'm working a morning shift, 6:10 I wake up and I'm still up at 1 a.m. looking at something very silly.
Yeah. Especially nowadays with like so many different apps as well. It's just like you're just going from one app to another to another to another. And it's just like, you know, like you're saying, you know you have to wake up, you know you have to do something at the next day, but like the boundaries that you set for yourself, you're not respecting it kind of thing. And it's, I don't know, I think sometimes we're a bit easy with ourselves as well. It's like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. And then before you know it, it's a whole month and you haven't done it.
Exactly.
So I think it's also about being disciplined as well. I think they go hand in hand. Like you have to be disciplined with yourself and like know that it's not going to come to you if you ain't being disciplined about what it is that you want to do. So for example, like gym, I know that there's a gym class at 6:45 that I want to go to. I'm up on TikTok scrolling. I'll set my alarm. Like maybe I'll set my alarm to wake up at 6 o'clock. When the alarm goes off, I snooze. and then I wake up at like 8 o'clock and upset at myself because I didn't go to the gym. It's like, it was like premeditated. Like deep down, I knew I was not going. It's like I'm deceiving myself.
Yeah.
So it's just like, girl, what are you doing? Like, it's hard.
Do you know what it is? I think it's because like we feel like there's no consequences. But it's
That's
weird.
True.
We feel like it, but there are consequences.
That is so true.
And you're only deceiving your own self. You're doing as mom says, you're doing your own self. You know?
That is so true. Word. That is so true. There's actually, because there's no physical consequences I can see anyway of like, okay, sometimes obviously like if I don't go to gym and I get upset, okay, maybe I'm gaining weight or whatever. But in terms of proper consequences, there isn't. Like my mom's not going to beat me for not going to the gym or for not waking up early. Whereas when you're younger, there's consequences, and that's why sometimes it's easier to do things. Whereas when you're an adult, you're kind of in control of your own self. You're in control of what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Yeah. So yeah, that is a very good one. There is no consequences. Yeah.
There is. Deep down, there is.
Because it's the guilt.
And it's like your future self you're affecting.
Yeah.
So you're fine now, but think about it. Like, let's say in a few months' time,
Yeah.
you haven't gone gym, you're
Yeah.
eating anyhow.
It's
It's
true.
gonna catch up on you regardless. It may not be now, later on.
Yeah.
And even as you're older as well, like my mom is like proper like, working hard in terms of like fitness wise to keep it going.
Yeah.
But can you imagine like if, for example, like us starting younger, what it'd be like for us if, we're in a few years, like maybe like 20, 30 years on from now, how it will be.
Yeah,
like it makes such a difference.
We'll be very, very appreciative of the work that we're putting in
exactly.
now. So yeah, because even like when you just using that gym for example, like when I go to the gym, like that person at the end of a class is very happy that they made it, and it's proud of that person who got themselves out of bed in this freezing cold, in the dark, and went to the gym. So I think sometimes you also have to, like you were saying, you have to remember about the future person and like how would they feel after you've done what you're about to do now.
Yeah.
But it's not always easy looking at it that way, but it's a very, very good way of looking at it. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I've never thought about it that way, but yeah. Yeah.
How do you find your self-care in terms of digital world?
In the gutter.
In the gutter.
Yeah. Because I think for me is TikTok. Like the addiction. At one point,
I don't have it.
I swear my thumb was aching because I was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's so bad. Like, and then when you get that report from your phone as well that will tell you had this much screen time, it's just going up and up and up. Like I can't put my phone down these days.
Wow.
It's so bad. But I never used to be like that. And I think it's lockdown because
it's true.
It gave us more time to be on social media and see what other people are doing and kind of catch up with what the world's going on online anyway. But I tried to like take a break because like I was saying at the beginning, like January was quite rough. So I took like time off like posting anything because I got to a point as well where I felt like people don't really care about what I'm posting. Like me resharing people's pictures they've taken or quotes and stuff like that. It really got to a point where I felt like people don't really care what I'm reposting. So why am I sharing stuff on my stories or tweeting and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So for like the whole of January, I wasn't really active on socials. Even now, like I will like tweet here and there if Love Island's on or something. But apart from that, like I'm not very active at the moment. I think it's good to take breaks.
Do you feel better for it?
I don't know if it makes me feel better, I think sometimes it makes me feel like, no one knows what I'm up to. But in terms of making me feel better, I don't know.
Because I feel like, I love going on like digital detoxes. I feel great after. Like, I'm just like, I think because what's what I'm doing with my time. So like, I'm able to like do stuff that I care about.
Yeah.
And be more present. Because a lot's going on in the world. Like, the way like social media and the digital world really hit us, it's just it's insane how things have just sped by. And I feel like as human beings, like we're not supposed to be online that much. We're not supposed
really
to.
not.
And it's like it's weird, right? Because we're all craving like connection. And you feel like, oh, I sent this person a text or I like their picture, they must be fine. Like, no, you don't know what people are going through.
And we also assume that like you were saying that like liking pictures and sending a text and stuff like that is like a form of human interaction, but it isn't. Like we're not even, people aren't even meeting up with each other anymore. Like less and less. Everybody's so busy. Like, but everybody stays on socials though.
You
like,
have time to be on social media.
We're so busy, but we have time to be posting pictures. We have time to do this. We have to catch up with who Stormzy's dating and who this, that. You know what I mean? Like, we have time to catch up with everybody else but our own self sometimes. And I think, I don't know. I think with social media, it's just like, I feel for people that are younger than us who have come into this whole new world. Because with us, we kind of like with social media, like, we didn't grow up with social media. Yeah. Whereas people younger than us have grown with social media. Yeah, so they don't know a time where there was no social media, whereas we do. So I'm just a little bit fearful, like when we have kids and stuff like that, and the younger ones, like how are they going to be able to deal with all this? Because social media also adds so much pressure. Like now kids are watching other kids playing on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, how do we kind of go back to just people sitting by the table, having dinner? People don't even do that anymore. No. Like on the trains, everybody's just, if people's heads can dive into their phones, like I'm sure they would. Everybody is just glued to their phone. They're not even looking up. You're not even looking up to see the person that is pregnant that needs a seat.
Have you ever been to a dinner? Like, literally everyone's on their phone. Just like, guys, why do we leave our houses?
Bare
to
flash,
come and eat together.
Bare cameras, just bare flash. Like, we're not being present. And I think sometimes as well, like, I try to be present, but it's also hard because I feel like we live in an era where if you haven't taken like photographic evidence of something, it didn't happen. I can say that I went to, I went to Hakkasan. But sometimes it's like, oh yeah, you want to take a video of it to really show people that, yeah, I am at Hakkasan and I'm having this duck salad. Like, do you know what I mean?
You're trying to show people you're having a good time. Just have your good time. Why are we? Even me, I'm like, because I love a cocktail. So I'll be like, another one, thank you. Like every time be like, boomerang kid.
Cling, cling.
I have on my page, I have a whole, what is it called? Highlight dedicated to cocktails.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much I do it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, so people, when they go out to eat, every time you're going to be filming the food. Even when you go for people's birthday events.
Yeah.
You didn't talk to the birthday girl, you were busy filming everything.
Yeah.
Are you a photographer?
True.
Like, what are we?
I think we're just so, I think it goes back to you just wanting other people to see that you're having a good time. Like, I've been at events with people. Yeah, I've been at events with people where on socials, it looks like they're having a heck of a time. They're having a blast. But in real life, when I was there, you were standing in the corner. So which one is it? Like, do you know what I mean? I think we just want to prove to people that we're having such an amazing, fantastic time. Like, everything's great. But then when you get to talk to people deep down, it's not like that. And that's why you have to always take everything with a pinch of salt. Like, don't let fear for missing out make you be doing things that you don't want to do. Like, you see your friends out here, at this event, you're thinking, oh, why am I not here? But that's because maybe you have something better like to do kind of thing. So yeah, you have to detox, man, because otherwise you take in so much and then you forget the things that are really, really important to you. Like, you think, oh yeah, my life is supposed to be this way. I should be doing this thing. Like, because other people are doing it online and everybody's journey is different. Exactly. And don't get me wrong, there's people who are actually having a good time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're so used to also saying that, like, oh, people online, they're just pretending they're not having a good time. Some people are actually having a really good time and they're just showing it. But there's also the other side where people aren't. But again, you just have to not think too deep into whatever that you see and just live your own life kind of thing. Yeah, but you do have to detox, man, because otherwise you just take in so much, even music.
Consuming. Never like just like on your own, just
one-to-one.
Being present. Even me as well, like I may not be on social media as much, but I'm always listening to something. And it's like sometimes you just need to just be in silence.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually okay.
Yeah. And because our mind is always so busy as well. Yeah. Like someone was like, sometimes I wish I can just turn off my mind. Like, I feel like sometimes our minds are always busy just thinking about one thing. You're thinking about this, Like, it's always something going on. And it's just, sometimes you just have to have that moment and just peace and quiet. Lit your candle. So get your journal. Write something. How are you feeling today? Have you checked in with yourself before you open your phone to be checking what's going on Instagram? Have you checked in? How are you feeling today?
Exactly. No,
do you know what I mean? Like, we're not doing these things, but we're so quick. Even me, myself, I wake up, I turn to the side, I grab my phone. What happened last night on Twitter? What's going on?
Oh, gosh.
How am I doing today? Have you asked yourself, how are you doing today? You haven't done that, but you're so quick to open your phone.
Yeah.
It's bad.
What do you think about consumption versus creation?
At this point, I think they go neck and neck. I think a lot of people are creating. Like, when we go on social media, there's so many people creating. Like, I think now content creation is at its peak. And I think that's also what's making us also consume more. Whereas I think when we were younger, we had a set batch of people that were creating. Like, you had your OGs, like the YouTubers, you had Jenny Jenkins, you had the Patricia Brights. Like, we had all these people who like were content creating and we were consuming them. But nowadays, anybody can be a content creator. Whereas before, I feel like there was like almost like you had to have like a starter pack. Like, you had to have a camera. You had to like to be classified as like a content creator, whereas now you can pick up your phone and create.
Exactly.
It's so much easier now. So I think that also makes us like consume more. But then what we're consuming now too is on a whole different level.
Sometimes it's garbage. I kid you not.
Absolute, like some of the songs that some of these rappers and stuff are making, they're chatting absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. But because we're so like, I don't know, like we consume so much that we don't even realize what people are saying in their songs. Like I even saw the other day where a YouTuber made a video about like Ashake and like the demonic like aspects of like some of his posters, even like with Buju and Remo and all that stuff. And I was like, I didn't actually deep these things. Like
that's why it's so catchy and addictive.
We're so quick to consume stuff without even really checking like, what am I actually consuming? Like we're so quick to be watching this, watching that, but you don't know. Like people are so quick to also go on social media and start like preaching and stuff like that. But not every pastor you should be listening to. Like, do you know what I mean? Like there's so many people that you just shouldn't be listening to. But because you're not learning the word of God for yourself, you're looking to social media to do that for you. Exactly. So I think just nowadays we're just really, really consuming. Like we're consuming at an all high now. Like there's just so much and
it's just overwhelming.
It is so overwhelming. At the same time, it's good because I think now people are stepping out of their comfort zone. People like, your everyday person can be a content creator. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I think at the same time, like, what are you consuming? You need to like check and not just be following the crowd and, you know, listening to stuff, watching stuff. Like, because and that's how now randomly I'll be saying random TikToks sounds and stuff, or like singing random, like singing like random songs and stuff because I'm even going to bed thinking about these songs. Like, it's insane.
Oh
so
my God.
Yeah, like So I think now they're going to connect. Like we're consuming a lot, but people are also creating.
I feel like people should spend more time creating. But I'm not talking about creating on social media or whatever. I'm talking about just creating in your general life than they do consuming other things. And if you are going to consume, let it be stuff that fills you up. Yeah. So like, for example, I don't know, you do something that is productive with yourself. Yeah. Like something creative, maybe something like a hobby or if you like to knit or if you, I don't know, whatever it is that you like to do something. And then obviously then you spend time, you know, watching that silly
other
video
things,
on TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you actually do that, it helps you out. It even helps your mental health so much. Yeah. Because even like, for example, like, let's say like living in London where like there's not a lot of green areas. Like
everywhere's dull.
Like, I don't know about you,
the leaves are falling off.
I'm looking around, my head just, I get migraines really easily.
Same.
And I get
like,
really
you know
bad.
When it has like your head has a heartbeat. Definitely. Like
it's pounding. Like we'll call it throbbing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It'd be throbbing, child.
And it's like, it's just too much.
Yeah. I agree, because I think also people don't have hobbies these days.
No.
We don't have hobbies. You know, when you're a young girl, you go swimming. You learn how to do it is and doing clink clink. We don't actually have proper hobbies. Like we really should pick up something.
We're a lot more boring than previous generation.
Yeah.
And I think it's social media doing it to us. I feel like we're all starting to become really alike as well.
Yeah. I agree. But I don't know, because I think it's hard because also like we went through a pandemic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like,
that's why I love seeing all like the video. Everyone's baking. Like people are doing stuff.
People are doing stuff, yeah. But I just don't think we have hobbies nowadays. We're glued to our phones. There ain't no hobby. Our hobbies are our phones.
Is it crack?
Like social media is crack at this point. Like it's bad. And that's why I was saying, like, I'm just really fearful for the younger ones, because I think it pushes people as well at a younger age to feel like they haven't got it. Like you've got people working free jobs, like trying to match up to like people that they're seeing on social media, like wearing like Brazilian hair and this. The first time I wore Brazilian hair, I think I was in like uni. Like, do you know what I mean? But younger girls now are pushing to look like, younger girls are even looking older than me.
And looking better than me as well. Some young girls, I'm like, sis, how did you do your makeup? Like, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
It's a lie.
Where's your vendor for those bundles? Like, yeah, no.
Wow.
It is crazy. It is.
Oh, this episode has honestly been so fun. Like, I didn't think it was going to be this.
Oh, we
good.
at the end of it.
Wait, you were there.
My God, that was quick.
It's gone so quickly.
But I just looked at my phone.
Honestly,
that was quick.
Been amazing.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, this was lit, guys.
Thank you.
But what's one thing you want the audience to know before you go today?
Oh,
One piece of advice or
advice.
Just anything, like a thought, something, or even like a recommendation, something like that.
I would say don't be scared to step out of your comfort zone. Don't be scared to do things on your own. And don't wait for no one. If there's something that you want to do it. And if it fails, you go again.
Yeah.
Like, don't be scared to fail. Yeah, don't be scared to fail. Because there's a lot of people who have failed but became successful. And it's not something that happens overnight either. So don't put pressure on yourself thinking, oh yeah, this person got it one day, this person got it in a year. Like, watch you and yeah, go for it. Like, just go for it. Elevate.
Hey.
Elevate.
Love it.
Yeah.
And level up, obviously. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I can't believe how quickly it went.
Right, it was amazing. But if the listeners want to learn more about you and your journey, where can they find you? Obviously, if you don't want to give it socials, don't give it socials.
Oh, no, I don't mind my socials. You can find me Akua Aubrey _ on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Where else can you find me? Yeah, guys, who knows? There might be other places you might be able to find me. Who knows? But for now, yeah, on socials.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. And thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Level Up with Lu. Let me know your thoughts. You can email me at levelupwithlu@gmail.com. And don't forget, guys, if you're not subscribed and you're listening, subscribe now.
Subscribe now. Now. Press the subscribe button, share, like, all of that stuff.
All right, guys, I'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.